Sixer fans, you can't make this stuff up. Emergency Pod, welcome to the Emergency Pod presented by Xfinity. Imagine that. Imagine that your basketball team is normal. Everybody, Derek, Devon, Bree, all of you, thank you for hanging out with us on this Emergency Podcast where Tyrese Maxey, the Sixers, announced this evening after consultation with multiple hand specialists, which included the review of additional imaging. Tyrese Maxey, Sixers All-Star guard, has been diagnosed with a tendon injury to the small finger on his right hand, of course, his pinky on his shooting hand. Maxey will be reevaluated in approximately 3 weeks. Further updates will be provided as appropriate. Derek, last night on the television broadcast, you could see Maxey sitting next to Joel Embiid on the bench where he had a splint on his pinky finger, and we wondered if he could play with that once the reevaluation happened when they got back to Philadelphia. What would it tell us? And they did have us kind of puzzled when they mentioned certain wording last night after the game. We mentioned, what about the tendon? There were no fracture, no break. What about the tendon? Here we have it. Tendon injury in his right hand. 3 weeks is a long time when you only have less than 18 games to play.
Yeah, no, 3 weeks puts you into April, pretty much right at April. So by the time, and look, we don't really know, like, he'll be reevaluated in 3 weeks. We don't know if he'll come back in 3 weeks. He might need more time. That's just a reevaluation. We've all done this dance before where when someone is reevaluated does not mean when they will come back. But even still, even if he comes back left, and look, with 3 weeks, you're talking about 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games left in the regular season. So there won't be much time before the playoffs. You don't know how effective he's going to be because, again, we watched last year when he had a injury on that same pinky where he really, really struggled to shoot the ball. 27% from the field, 2 for 21 from 3 over a 4-game stretch. So he might come back. And again, 3 weeks is the optimistic outcome here. He might come back. You don't know how effective he's going to be, and you don't know how effective he's going to be, by April 14th or 15th or whenever that play-in game would be. It's not that long away from when he's going to be reevaluated. We're talking about, he's going to come back, best case scenario, April 1st, and then he's going to be thrust right into a pretty much do or die spot trying to play in the play-in. Because let's be frank here, with him out this long, with Paul George out until the 25th, I don't think they're going to fall below 10. I think they'll be in a play-in game, but the odds of them avoiding a play-in are almost nil at this point. So he's going to have to come back towards, pretty soon after that reevaluation and be playing high leverage basketball almost right from the jump.
And those games that you talk about, Derek, whenever he does come back, let's say he's back in April with the timeline that Derek gives. Washington, April 1st, okay, fine. We understand that one. But everyone else until the final 2 games could be in seeding, where they're trying to figure out where they're going to land from Minnesota, Detroit, San Antonio, and Houston. And the San Antonio and Houston is part of a 3-game road trip that will end the season with Milwaukee at home on Sunday, April 12th, to be the final game where it may matter, may not matter for that 10th seed, as we're talking about here, with the Milwaukee Bucks, who are the one occupying the 11th spot right there in the seeding. That's where all of this stuff is going to matter. So in between that time, just think of the opponents that they have. Yes, Portland, Brooklyn, Utah, and Sacramento. Those are games, including Chicago, that you feel like you can win. But you also have games against which we've already highlighted where we've been paying attention to the standings in the Eastern Conference, where they have games against Detroit this week. Then you have Denver, Oklahoma City, Charlotte, and Miami, which are not going to be easy games with Tyrese Maxey in the lineup, and they're certainly going to be that much more difficult with him out of the lineup. And this asks a lot of some of the other players, including the rookie VJ Edgecombe, who we have very high praise for, probably finished top 3 in the Rookie of the Year voting. That's how spectacular he has been in his rookie campaign. But it's, again, asking so much of him to replace Tyrese Maxey in that lineup and then having everyone else behind him from Quentin Grimes and others to level up into a spot where you try to maintain your spot in that play-in and try to elevate yourself back up into the top 6 where that's really difficult to do for this basketball team. So very difficult spot for the Sixers. Very, very tough situation that they find themselves in right now. By the way, your team's starting lineup may change, but the price of your internet will not. Check out the 5-year price guarantee from Xfinity. Visit Xfinity.com.
If we could have a 5-year starting lineup guarantee, oh my gosh, we would be cooking, Devon. This would be incredible.
With no injuries?
Yeah.
With no injuries.
Oh my God. That would be the happiest 5 years of my life.
That would be.
I mean, look, the 5-year Xfinity price guarantee makes me happy too. But 5-year lineup guarantee, oh my goodness.
Check out Xfinity, Xfinity.com.
So there's going to be a lot of debate over tanking. And quite frankly, like what you think they should do, leave a comment, let us know, because we're going to debate this later on in the week. It is going to be real tough to miss the play-in. Not the top 10. Because you're looking at the Bucks are 11th with 27 wins, and then the Bulls at 26, and then you've got the Brooklyn Nets at 17. So there's really only 2 teams. Even if Milwaukee goes like 10-9 here down the stretch, which they haven't shown that they're capable of doing, but if they play over their heads, you would only need to win 4 games the rest of the way to at least make the play-in tournament. So I would expect that they will continue to try to win basketball games. I don't expect they will immediately shut Joel Embiid down. Obviously, Joel Embiid, when he can come back, he's been the one force that can kind of stabilize things a little bit. He's going to be reevaluated later on this week. They told us on the 6th that he would be reevaluated in a week. That puts him at roughly the 13th. They don't always follow that to the T, but that's kind of a guideline on when we can expect the next update on Joel Embiid. And again, just going to hammer this point home, next reevaluation doesn't mean somebody's going to play on the 13th. It just means we'll get our next update. So assuming he comes back, like I said, he is the one that if you're just going to try to claw out a couple of games here and there, you need him back in a big way. But even so, if you look at all the lineups that have played this year with VJ and Joel on the floor, so the 2 guys you have healthy and available, but without Tyrese and Paul George, they have a negative 14.7 net rating, so they're outscored by 14.7 points per 100 possessions, and they have an offense that ranks in the 2nd percentile in the league. Now, it's on a 0 to 100 scale. 100th percentile means you're the best offense in the league. 0 means you're the worst. They're at 2. So they are pretty much as bad offensively as you can get, even with Embiid and VJ on the floor. That's how much they depend on Tyrese and to a lesser extent, Paul George. Now, it's a small sample size, a little bit of shooting variance, yada, yada, yada. But they have struggled to generate good offense, even with Embiid and VJ on the floor, without those 2 guys.
That Tyrese Maxey guy,
pretty
good.
Pretty important.
And pretty important as well. So, one more time to let everybody know, in the event that you don't know exactly, again, maybe you didn't hear it at the top, the diagnosis for Tyrese Maxey. According to the Sixers, Tyrese Maxey, after visiting with multiple hand specialists, which included a review of additional testing on his shooting hand, he has a tendon injury to the small finger on his right hand, the pinky on his shooting hand. He will be reevaluated in approximately 3 weeks. Further updates will be provided as appropriate. Derek already laid out that leads you right into the start of April for the Sixers' schedule to get ready to close things out going into the postseason, hopefully, for your basketball team. So, never good things. Well, not enough good things for the 76ers. And we hope that things get better for Tyrese Maxey with this injury. We also hope that they can stay and keep their head above water and allow themselves to stay in the playoff picture in the Eastern Conference. Man, wrong time for this injury to take place for Tyrese Maxey. So we will continue to monitor it as we always do here on the PHLY Sixers podcast. We appreciate you all, as always, for hanging out with us during this emergency podcast. Tyrese Maxey out for an extended period of time, approximately 3 weeks, and we'll see how the Sixers do in his absence. For Derek, Kyle, and Bree, I'm Devon. This has been the Emergency Podcast presented by Xfinity. Imagine that.
Imagine a healthy team.
We all silly like the mayor.